Welcome to the Enlightenment Academy, where the journey of discovering your inner magic begins. In a world filled with endless possibilities, we invite you to explore the depths of your being and unlock the mysteries of your true potential. Through insightful teachings, transformative practices, and enlightening conversations, we empower you to access the brilliance that resides within you. Join us as we embark on a path of self-discovery, empowerment, and spiritual awakening. Are you ready to tap into the infinite wellspring of magic within you? Here is your host, Venus Castleberg.
Hello, everyone. How are you today? So nice to be here with you once again on this adventure called Enlightenment Academy. And I am going to invite you, if you are listening live today, if you would like to call in and ask questions, you can call in live and ask me questions today. Isn't that fun? So the phone number, if you're in the US, is 202-570-7057. And if you're calling from outside the US, you just do a +1 and then that number. Hi, Kimberly. Hello, Facebook users. So nice to see you here today. Awakening the sleeping giant within. This is a good one, right? Well, they're all good to me. I guess I would just start with like the very first step in actualizing anything in your life is asking. Ask and you shall receive is an actual thing. But you do have to ask for it. So some people are like, well, I really would like, spiritual gifts, but then it's like, it's kind of an ask, but kind of a pie in the sky wish and a hope and a dream. And there's something different about like a genuine, like, I'm asking for this. And I'll share a little bit about my personal story back in the day when I turned 30. And like I told some of you, I quit doing drugs and alcohol. And then it was just kind of like things started to open for me. But what I was asking for at that time was for stuff to change. I knew I really wanted to make a big change in my life. I really wanted to have a different experience of life. Notice how vague that request was. So when you're asking for a big change, and you're asking for something different in your life, I'll also say, be careful what you wish for, what you're asking for, and being more clear about what you're asking for. Now, that doesn't mean that you get fixated or attached to things looking a certain way. It's more like, would you like to tap into your spiritual powers? Is that something that you're really asking for? At the time, I was just asking for my life to change. So then when I became a clairvoyant medium, I was like, I don't want this gift. Really asked if there was a return. Can I return it? No, there's no return. So, but I share that because I know that there's some things that maybe you're asking for. Maybe you're really just asking for things in your life to change. And you think that if you had access to your spiritual powers, your spiritual capacities, that the dog, of course, thinks that now is the time to go crazy. But I love it. So you have access to spiritual powers. We all do. So that's the other thing I want to say is that we all have capacities and gifts and untapped in spiritual powers that anybody can access. So it's not just for the select few. Now, yes, some people are more aware of it early in their life, or they're born with it. Maybe it's a family tradition or, genealogy. But all those things can play into spiritual gifts and capacities, but you are not, like, if you're somebody who didn't have that when you were a kid, that's okay. Like, you can tap into it at any time. It can come to you at any time. Some people call it a spiritual awakening. Some people call it enlightenment. Some people call it, this time when they become aware that there's something else beyond their own circle. And that was me. Like, in my 20s, I partied like a rock star, literally. And I just knew there had to be something else to life, right? And when I was having this experience of there's got to be something else to life, that's when my awakening happened. But that awakening, it wasn't comfortable. It wasn't exactly fun. And like I said, it wasn't really being specific about I'm sorry, I just squirreled. A friend of mine just typed in and said, Cassandra, hi love, I'm getting married today. I'm like, oh, well, great. Congratulations. That's awesome. I'm really happy for you, honey. But I just, of course, lost my train of thought because I was like, oh, somebody's getting married. That's really exciting though. I'm happy for you. So that thing, like, you might just be like, I'm really wanting things to change. And you think that this can be the answer. Like, if I just had spiritual gifts and capacities, everything would be okay. So I'm sharing that because you might be one of those people out there. Like, if I had something that I could do or something that I could be, or like that would fix everything. I will tell you, becoming a clairvoyant medium when I turned 30, after leaving all of my friends and basically my entire lifestyle, changing everything that I ate even or ingested, like I went completely vegan, vegetarian for a long time. But having now these gifts and capacities, sure, it was cool. And at the same time, I still had to kind of face my demons. I still had to face the things that were going on in my life. The separation from people who were originally my friends, right? Oh, thank you, Cassandra. I'm grateful for that. So having that, like, isn't going to be a fix-all. Now, I'm not saying you can't have it, and I'm not saying it's super cool when you accept it as a gift, because that was the other thing. I thought suddenly I was cursed. I could see dead people. This is not a gift and capacity that I was asking for. So I thought maybe I'd done something wrong, and then I had to deal with all of that. And then suddenly I was like, okay, maybe I was given this for a reason. How can I use this to my advantage? And stopped resisting it, but also really had to work through some things, truthfully. Like, so that's why I'm like, be careful what you wish for, what you're asking for, because it's like, oh, is that something you're really asking for? A great example is years later, this was actually probably maybe 10 years ago, I have a really close friend of mine, and she has this gift and capacity of being able to hear very clearly her spirit guides, and then she can dialogue with them. She can talk to them back and forth. And I was like, wow, it'd be really cool for me to be able to talk to my spirit guides, because all I've ever really played with them is like charades, because I really wasn't okay with hearing things, as you guys know, outside of my ears, right? So, and then she's like, oh, I think it'd be really cool to see things. And then, of course, she asked for it and she started seeing things. And then she was like, well, no, I don't want to see things. So she thought she wanted to see things, but then when she started to see things, she's like, yeah, maybe not. So I am a big advocate of being very clear on what it is you're actually asking for, but then asking for it, right? So yeah, if you want to be a clairvoyant medium, great. If you want to tap into your superpowers, great. If you want to tap into maybe some of your latent superpowers that you haven't tapped into yet, we're going to do an exercise later today. We're going to do an exercise later today. And in that exercise, we will be tapping into those latent superpowers, whatever they are. So somebody is asking what color panties I'm wearing. So I think that you could just practice your intuition and you guess. Because I'm not going to tell. You're just going to have to tap into your own intuition for that one. I love how people like to try to throw me off. It's super fun. So are you like asking for something? Do you already have gifts and capacities and you'd like them to get stronger? Do you have new gifts and capacities, or maybe gifts and capacities you've had at other times that you'd like to tap into? So what is it that you what is it that you are desiring to tap into? And one of the things, like, it's easy to look at people too. Nah, I'm fine. Totally up to you, Christopher. So, but like, what is it that you are asking for? And maybe you're somebody who's like, you've seen people that have gifts and capacities that are cool. You're like, oh, I think that'd be cool. But then looking at it for yourself, okay, is this something that I really would like? Or is this something that I think I would like because I think it's going to fix something? So everywhere where you think that something would fix what's happening for you. I don't know why this is must be reading for somebody out there, but is like, are you looking to something because you think somehow you're broken and something's wrong with you? And I'm going to tell you right now, there's nothing wrong with you and you're not broken. Even if you feel like you're broken. If you are somebody who, like something I'm saying is resonating for you right now and you'd like to call in, you can call in to 202-570-7057 and we can have a little chat. But these gifts and capacities, sure, they can make your life great. And they can bring up new challenges. It's like somebody who's poor, who doesn't have a lot of money. You have challenges when you don't have a lot of money, right? We all know that. You know what? You still have challenges and problems when you have lots of money. Like it doesn't change anything as far as like the base circumstances. So if you are feeling like you're innately broken and you need something added to your life to make you feel whole and complete, I'm here to tell you you're not broken to begin with, and you don't need anything to feel whole and complete. And at the same time, absolutely, we can tap into more of your gifts and capacities and go to places that you've never been before. And there's just going to be a whole different realm to deal with. So for me, like partying, doing drugs, hanging out with my friends, dancing all the time, had its own sets of problems. It had its own sets of challenges. When I became a clairvoyant medium and I thought I was going crazy, it had a whole nother set of problems and challenges. But what I have learned over my many years of studying different modalities and being a clairvoyant medium and tapping into these sorts of things is that when you're willing to face these sorts of things head on and be like, okay, there's great, I have this capacity. I feel like I might be going crazy. If you can get to a place where you realize there's nothing wrong with you and you're not crazy, then you can actually enjoy it a lot more. You can actually embrace it a lot more. And that was me. Like 3 years, I resisted it. I was like, I'm not interested in this gift. I don't want it. You can't make me. In a way, I was being a little bit like a spoiled child. I was like, I don't want it. Take it back. And so I fought it for 3 years. But I noticed over those 3 years, I was like withdrawing from even the people that were still in my life, like my mom, and, like, because I felt like I couldn't even tell my mom. And then I was withdrawing from, whatever friends I had left, which wasn't a lot at that time. But, and then over that 3 years, I noticed I started to get depressed. And it wasn't until I just went, okay, I surrender. I was given this gift capacity for a reason, and I'm just going to accept it, and I'm just going to lean into it. And then I called my mom even, and I said, are you sitting down? She says, yeah, why? And I said, well, I have something to tell you, and I just don't know how you're going to take it. And so, hello, Barry. Hello, Facebook user. But then I said, so I see dead people. And I just basically told her what had been going on for the last 3 years, because I had withdrawn from her quite a bit and we had always been close. And she said, some of it surprises me, but some of it doesn't. And did you think I wouldn't love you anyway? And I said, I guess in a way I did. So, but turns out she loves me anyway. And then my mom, at the time, my mom was a hospice nurse. So I went to visit her shortly thereafter. And then 3 of the people that she had helped transition in hospice came to visit her in spirit form. And that's when she got her confirmation and got what she needed to. It wasn't like she was looking for proof or belief, but like there was a way for us to bond and connect in that place. So there's also a lot of people out there that won't understand your gifts, that won't understand your capacities. And I highly recommend just keeping them to yourself for the most part, unless you know somebody is as excited about it as you. And then they're going to just support you and celebrate with you. And that's why we have the Facebook group, Accessing Other Realms, Empowering Psychic Mediums, for people who are spiritually gifted to come and hang out and celebrate each other and share stories and ask questions and ask the group, for not for therapy or for answers per se, but asking for feedback about maybe something they've experienced or something like that. So hi, Tamara. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here and watching and listening. Happy to have you. And if you want to call in and ask me any questions, you have a few more minutes. You can do that. You can call 202-570-7057. So your capacities, first, starting to ask for them. You may be somebody who you already have some. And I know that acknowledgement and gratitude grows. So the more that you acknowledge your gifts and capacities, the more they're going to grow as well. So at first, like I said, I could see spirits, I could see things, but I couldn't talk to them, like dialogue with them for a long time. And it was really just like they would show me symbols and stuff like that, and I had to kind of guess and figure out what that meant for myself. So, but over time, it's gotten easier and better to understand. I think now my connection is more of a knowing. I can still see the spirit realm, but I don't have my sight on all the time. I think most of the time I just have this like just knowing that of something, right? Yeah. Tamara says people around me truly don't get it, and I have to keep it a lot to myself. Yeah, absolutely. There's a saying we have in Access Consciousness saying, just for me, just for fun, never tell anyone. I highly recommend it. Like, it's just, they just don't. And this, thank you for saying that, Tamara, because this is also another thing to remember is it's also not a kindness to try to tell somebody who can't hear you. So I'm often asking, can this person hear this? Can this person receive this? And if they can't, then it's just a kindness to them and to you to not say anything, to just be like, okay, keep it to yourself. But there are groups and there are places and communities where you can feel safe. And I highly recommend doing things like psychic fairs, like actually being a reader or being somebody, so you can practice your gifts, but it also is a place that literally hundreds of people, thousands of people come to for answers, for guidance that are completely open. And it's just fun to be around those kinds of people that are just like sponges. So, and some of you, maybe not the panty guy, but but most of you are actually here because you like these conversations. You're gravitating to these because you feel safer and like somebody gets you, and I hope you do feel that way. And that's why I'm sharing also all my vulnerable stories, is because it wasn't always easy for me either. But now that I've embraced them, and now that I coach other psychic mediums, it's really fun for me because I have a community of people that I get to have these really cool conversations with, and hopefully nobody ever feels judged, because I definitely am not judging them. So and then Kimberly says, my mom says she just knew I was strange and going to beat off my own. Yeah, going on your own path. Yep. Tamara says, I can't talk or see, but I sense their presence and feel their emotions. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Tamara, that is. Thank you for that question. Yep. So there's a lot of different clairs. Maybe we can do an episode on this down the line, but clairs, there's clairvoyance, which you see, clairaudience, you hear, clairsentience, you feel, and claircognizance, you know. So you literally just know that you just know stuff. You're like, I don't know how I know this, but I just know this, right? And then Barry says, some people are just jealous, not knowing that they can have their own powers. Yep, definitely got to be around the right people. Yeah, and that's true too. I mean, I think some people are envious and don't realize it. And that's one of the other reasons why I wanted to do this episode, is because anybody can tap into their abilities. And there's many abilities that you had from many lifetimes. So if you stick around after the break, we're going to actually take you on another guided visualization adventure into past lifetimes to gather up some of those superpowers that you've had. Because there's a lot of things that you have available to you that you don't even realize that you have available to you. So hopefully you'll stick around after the break. See you soon.
OMTimesTV. Imagine becoming a super influencer. Reinvent yourself, invest in your brand, and then manifest your success with a robust spheric approach. OMTimes Media and Broadcasting offers a unique and multifaceted way to become the spiritual and conscious influencer you deserve to be by putting your message across our powerful platform with its proven record of integrity and excellence. Through our produced shows, OMTimes offers the opportunity to become a social media TV personality, a radio show host, an OMTimes magazine columnist, and a syndicated podcaster, all in one shot. By live streaming your show on OMTimesTV and broadcasting it across the extensive OMTimes radio and TV networks, you become more than a host. You become an ambassador and a force for positive change. OMTimes. Open yourself to the possibilities.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse, walk a mile in my shoes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome forward. So happy to be here with you today. We are going to now do a guided visualization on tapping into your dormant, maybe spiritual powers, awakening the giant within. So finding a comfortable seat, a comfortable place. Please don't close your eyes if you're driving. I know that might sound obvious, but just in case anybody's like, this is so relaxing, maybe pull over for this one. And then just feeling your feet on the floor and the earth underneath you. And relax. Take a couple of deep breaths in and out. In and out. And relax. Feel yourself relax. And allow yourself to imagine yourself on a magic carpet. Because today we're going to take a magic carpet ride. And as you're taking this magic carpet ride, we're going to let this magic carpet take us back into the past to a time when you had some spiritual powers, when you had accessed your spiritual powers. And just going back to the place where there's memory of the good times, right? So we don't need to go live out the whole life. Just go back to when things were great. Maybe you were making herbs to help people heal. Maybe you had hands-on healing abilities. Maybe you were a fortune teller or could tell the future. But just allow yourself to go back to let's just do one life first. So you're going to go to one life when things were great, when you were enjoying what you were doing. And just allow yourself to remember that information. Let it be like a download that just happens naturally. It's always been there. You're essentially just going to the places where you've been storing it until now. And just having yourself have this new knowing of these capacities and abilities. And just notice how much joy you were getting out of it, how much you were enjoying it. How much fun you were having, how much it meant to you to be making a difference for others, if that's what you were doing. But just tap into all of those good, positive feelings associated with this gift and capacity. And let your body remember how that felt. And then just allowing yourself to get back on the magic carpet. And this magic carpet is going to take you on a ride to another lifetime where you had tapped into some of your superpowers and abilities. Back when things were good and great and fun and easy. Just allow yourself to experience and remember those superpowers, those abilities. Letting your body also remember that, and the vibrations and the energy. Just how that felt to be in that energy, experiencing those powers. Maybe you could fly. Feel what that felt like, the wind in your hair, soaring above the planet below. Maybe it was Earth, maybe it was another planet. But allowing yourself to remember and to tap into that energy. And enjoy it. Enjoy the good times. And then allowing yourself to get onto that magic carpet once again, going back to another life. Maybe going back to a life where you, and to the part of that life where you realized you had superpowers, where you realized you were gifted, where you could commune with fairies, or touch somebody and heal them. Again, we're not living out the whole life, we're just living out the life and the time when it was good and it was fun and you were excited. While I was worried that everybody else would think I was crazy when I first became a clairvoyant medium, I also was having a lot of fun with it, but just for me, just for fun. But going back to a time when you had another capacity that has maybe been dormant in your life, and allowing yourself to remember what that's like. Let every fiber of your being and every cell of your body remember these powers, remember these capacities. Maybe in this lifetime so far, you've only been able to feel and to know, but maybe you'd like to see. So go back to a life when you could see the spirit realm. And let your body and your being remember. If you've done it in any other lifetime, you can do it in this one too. But let's be clear, if you're remembering how to fly, take off from the ground. Don't try to jump off of a building to see if you can fly. Again, might be common sense, but you can fly, you can start to fly, but fly from the earth. Leave the earth. And let all of that memory, all of those capacities come with you as you get back on the magic carpet and you allow yourself to glide, to travel forward in time to this moment, to this body, to this life. However, remembering those capacities and knowing that you have access to them now. Allow that energy to awaken, to open that third eye, to open that intuition even more. To let that healing energy run through your body, healing your body first. Or allowing yourself to see what before you could not see or forgot that you could see. But allow every cell, every fiber of your being to vibrate with this new vibration, with this new awareness. New and not new, but new and remembered. Allowing yourself to light up, turn on every cell. Tapping into those innate superpowers that you have from many lifetimes. And using those innate powers to heal your body, to give you guidance, to show you something new, or something that you knew was there, but maybe you couldn't see before. But bringing all of that to the here and now. There is nothing that you have not been and done in your lifetimes before. All we have to do is remember. Perhaps there's something in your body or your being that feels a little bit off, or like it's just not quite connecting. Maybe take that molecule and turn it 180 degrees. You have the power to change anything in your body and your life. What would you like to change? What molecule can you turn? What ability can you tap into? And breathe. Notice how sometimes when we become so focused, we forget to breathe. Let yourself relax into this energy. You might be feeling very stimulated or like your whole body is vibrating. Just breathe and relax. Energy only becomes too much or too intense when we're trying to contain it, put it in a box. So let's just let the energy flow. Let all this new energy flow in and flow out and flow in and flow out. You don't have to hold on to it. You don't even have to necessarily remember it. You'll remember some, sure, but there's some that you may not remember right now, and that's okay. You can come back to this meditation anytime and visit other lifetimes where you had other superpowers and see what comes of those. But in the meantime, just allow these three superpowers, these three abilities to integrate. But integration doesn't mean contain, it doesn't mean control. Just let them become a part of who you are. And then what becomes fun is you get to tap into whatever you like to tap into now and in the future. You may choose to just hone in on one of these spiritual abilities in this lifetime, and that's great. You may choose to use multiples. That's awesome too. What would be fun for you? What would make your life even greater? When your life gets greater, everybody's life around you gets greater. It's just how the universe works. You start having fun, people around you start having fun. You're happier, more people around you are happier. And the people that don't want to have fun and don't want to be happier will go away. But just let yourself be with this energy. Play with it. Ask it to show you, how does this work? How can we use this? What else is possible here that we've never even considered? How can we use this to our advantage? But just explore. Try it out. It's a lot like trying on a new outfit. Try on a new superhero outfit. See how it feels. Some superhero outfits maybe feel great. Some of them maybe not so much. Find one that works for you. Meaning, try on these gifts and capacities and see what is fun for you. Maybe you're gifted with the tarot and you can see spirits. Maybe you can combine your services so that you do both. Or maybe you just want to focus on talking to spirits. Or you really like the idea of doing hands-on healing, whatever it is. Just allowing yourself to play, enjoy it. And for those of you, some of us sometimes, and I have this at one point too, like any places where you have fear of the unknown, fear of tapping into these powers, that somehow maybe you would be harmed in some way. And I'm just here to tell you they're not doing that anymore. This lifetime is not the lifetime where they're, burning people at the stake and stuff. So would you be willing to just let that go? And like I said, maybe it's just an exploration just for you, just for fun. And it's not about telling anyone anyway. But letting go of anywhere where you think that you're unsafe or that you can be harmed because of your gifts. Sure, there will be people that might be jealous or judge you or whatever, but it's all just an interesting point of view. So just allowing that energy that you gathered up from many lifetimes integrate into this lifetime and this body. and begin to see just where it might go for you. I wonder where this adventure will go. I wonder what will come of this exploration for you. And then just begin to take some deep breaths. And start to slowly come back to this present moment, this body. Just allowing yourself to maybe take a look at yourself in the mirror and notice what changed. Have some fun with it, play with it for sure, explore, try it on, and then remember, ask and then acknowledge. So now that you may have some capacities that you've tapped into and brought forward with you, that you're now acknowledging every time that you perceive them or you use them or something happens. So let's say you brought forward the gift of healing touch, right? And you touch somebody and then you hear a week or two later that they had a cold and it just seemed like it just went away as if by magic. Just acknowledge that that was you. You don't have to tell them that that was you. But when you acknowledge it for you, I wonder how much more that will grow and how much more you can tap into. Because the more you acknowledge, the more you will tap into and the more capacities you'll have. And like, I don't know, how much more fun can you have with it? Super fun. Being here with you guys and playing in this realm, I am super grateful. I did want to just address, Tamara had a question. I think I get what you're asking, honey. So I'll come. It says, I had someone tell me there's no such thing as earthbound spirits and they can't harm you. It was supposed to be a spiritual, that doesn't matter. Why would people say that? So just real quick, and maybe we can touch on this more next time. But yeah, there is no one and nothing more powerful than you. And that's the most important thing, is that spirits can only affect you if you believe they can affect you and harm you. So if you don't believe it and you don't give them more power than you, then they cannot harm you. So that's, I don't believe you need protection. I believe you just need you to be the most dominant energy and be the most powerful being in the room. So I hope that makes sense and contributes. And if not, definitely you can come on next week and ask more questions. And next week we'll be live again. So you can call in and ask questions in person and we can have a good chat. If anybody is daring enough to call me in person, I double dog dare you. Thank you everyone for being here and for being you. I am so grateful for you. I'll see you next week. Bye.